Good day, Minecraftians. Purple Mentat here, bringing you episode 56 of my Agrarian Skies Hardcore Quest Let's Play. This game pack by Jadedcat is available on the Feed the Beast launcher. Last time, I got my whole base loaded. If I go over to loaded chunks, you can see that my entire area is all force-loaded by Minefactory Reloaded chunk loaders. Also, I set up a new nether quarry? Sorry, ender quarry in the nether. So let's call it a nether quarry, why not? And I gathered a whole bunch of dirt. I am up to 18 of the quadruple compressed dirt. I need to do more dirt gathering off screen sometime, but I'm letting the other nether quarry run, nether quarry, why not, run through its full production before I do that. And I took a look at the quests. So if I look at the end, well, I've completed the farmer. Fantastic. And in Hell's Kitchen, that's the one that I was looking for. I finished off the bacon mushroom burgers, feeding them all to my system. So I get 2 hearts, a reward bag guaranteed, and another one. 107 lives, epic bag, legendary bag. Epic bag contains blackberry, corn, and lettuce seeds. Legendary bag contains a whole bunch of ethereal essence that completely overflowed my inventory. Awesome. Let me clean up that mess. And when I finished off those quests, and I took a look at my... Actually, this is really useful stuff. That's pretty fantastic. When I took a look at what was next on the agenda, I realized that I needed more plants than I had. Specifically, I needed more kinds of plants than I had. That's an issue. Hang on, let me get another chest. I could just store all of this in AE, but I do like the feel of having things in chests. There, you can look right there. And now my ethereal essence has its own little home. Fantastic. So yes, I needed to complete the end quest that opened up after Hell's Kitchen, 5-star chef. I needed 64 delighted meal, which is no problem. I was eating those for the longest time before I started making hearty breakfasts, and 64 supreme pizzas, which were a bit more of a problem because I did not have everything I needed to make supreme pizzas. If I take a look at the pizzas, I taught my system how to make them, and the regular pizza was absolutely no problem. In fact, I can craft one of those. If I take a look at the recipe, it's just some dough, some cheese, some tomato, and some raw pork chop with a bakeware. I have a ton of all of that. So, I don't know why it's taking... What are you doing? Oh, just taking its time, I guess. So anyway, I can craft up 63 more of those with no trouble at all, and I'll be well on my way. Fantastic. Problem was the supreme pizza, which requires, well, basically you take your pepperoni pizza and you add a bunch of veggies and you get a supreme pizza. In this case, onions, spice leaves, and bell pepper. Onions and spice leaves I'd made earlier. Bell pepper, on the other hand, I had never grown before. My first thought was, no problem. I got these awesome fertilizers set up, so I can just plop down a couple of seeds in front of them and gather a bunch of bell pepper really fast. Except that wasn't working. And I realized that the reason this isn't working is, if I grab some bone meal I can demonstrate very easily. These plants are the type that the harvester does not gather all of, and the fertilizer isn't working with them properly. When the harvester gathers it up, it leaves the plant behind to be gathered again. Which, yeah, see? So I have a fertilizer here with a full set... Wait a second here. This wasn't working before. I swear this was not working before. Hang on, I'm going to watch this for a second and see if it's, like, functioning properly now. Okay, here we have it. So it will work on a freshly planted plant, but not on the once harvested plant. So it's very unreliable, and it doesn't quite like it, and it doesn't work well. So I need a better method of speeding this process up. And to make that happen, like, it just used like 6 fertilizer for nothing, and that plant grew on its own. Yeah, Yeah, so the fertilizer, not very happy with this whole setup. So I'm going to get rid of that, actually. Grab my guy, and I'm going to replace my little bit of a path that's supposed to be there. And I'm going to turn to an alternative mod to speed up my planting. And if you know anything about the series so far, you might be able to guess what that is. And if you guessed blood magic, you would be absolutely right. Do I have what I need on me? Any ritual stones? Yes, fantastic. I'm going to need more master ritual stones than that. Let me go grab a couple more master ritual stones and back in a moment. Alright, I am back with a whole bunch of ritual stones and my favorite shovel. Now, okay, that's kind of weird. Apparently if you kill the ground underneath the bell peppers, they'll just kind of hang out floating there, waiting. Strange, strange things. Hang on. Oh, derp. Actually, I do want that in resupply mode because I'm likely to be dropping more dirt on the ground, aren't I? There we go. Okay, so what am I doing with blood magic? Well, there is a ritual that... Careful moving your digger's backpacks around with inventory tweaks. Occasionally they get derpy. Alright. The ritual that I'm going to be using is the Ritual of the Green Grove. And I'm going to stack it right on top of this guy. And the Ritual of the Green Grove is just a little 3x3 ritual. As you can see, it just uses 4 water and 4 earth stones. Need my activation crystal. And why am I not getting anything out of this? Hang on a moment. So I'm not getting anything out of this because I had particles on minimal to fight off the hellfish in the nether. Yeah, it was working fine. I just wasn't seeing the particle effect. Alright. Moving on. Let's come back over here. Make sure that this is still going. Poof. Good. Good, good, good. The Ritual of the Green Grove affects any land up to... Well, affects any plant up to 2 blocks above it. Okay. For future reference, don't do what I just did. You can use the flux-infused shovel as a hoe to cover large amounts of land at once, but that had some strange effects on these panels. Wow, that was an interesting bit of mod interaction. Note to self. Luckily, I have a couple more panels just kind of hanging around. There. Alright, less derpingness. So, this Ritual of the Green Grove will apply an extra growth tick every second to all of the plants that are up to 2 spots directly above it, which is causing these bell peppers to grow an awful lot faster, as the way plant growth works is there is a chance for the plant to grow every time it gets a growth tick. It's not a guarantee. So, hey, where's my air sigil? There we go. So you need to be a little careful with it, but yeah. Falling used to be a thing I cared about. It's not anymore. Alright, so yeah, you don't have a guarantee on each growth tick that your plant will grow, so you can't get, like, instant speed out of these, but it's going pretty quick. And this will continue to work even with the different plants that I have from Pam's Harvest Craft and from Hunger Overhaul. At least maybe they're all from Hunger Overhaul, or maybe they're all from Pam's Harvest Craft, I believe. I don't remember for certain. Anyway, I'm going to set up a whole little farm over here full of this ritual, because I have massive amounts of LP generation that I can leave on overnight so that I don't, you know, log in and be horribly nauseous and bad. Rituals won't directly kill you if you run out of the power for them while you're offline, but you won't be very happy about it either. Hang on. Did I actually activate this ritual? I'm not seeing particle effects. Okay. Good. Alright. So I'm going to finish getting this all together, and I'll be back. By the time I even got the rest of this built, I already had over a stack of bell peppers. which is awesome. So this is going to be a very, very fast source of plants. And in fact, I think I might repurpose some of this to become my help with my dirt production. There we go. So I do want to keep the farmland hydrated, which I'm going to need a bucket of water for, which I don't have on me, of course. Yeah, let me get that. Because the reason you want to hydrate farmlands is that it makes everything grow a lot faster. The way it does this is providing faster natural, what do you call them? Growthtix, those things, yeah. And the more Growthtix you get, the faster things grow. And as long as I'm trying to provide the maximum number of Growthtix possible, well, you'll note that I created myself a particular Thaumcraft item earlier for one of the quests that I said I might be using later on. If I take a look at Artifice, the Lamp of Growth, this will cause more Growthtix in the area all around it. So I'm going to make myself a couple of these off camera, and I'm going to set them up and show you how they can be used. Okay, never mind on the Lamp of Growth. I mean, I'd like to because there's no kill like overkill, but we've already reached overkill. This harvester can't even keep up with the rate that the Ritual of the Green Grove is providing for these plants. This is crazy insane. I'm really happy with this. I should have done this a while ago instead of set up the fertilizers. Well, that's not true. I really enjoy having my fertilizers set up. They're a lot of fun. So if I take a look at my pepper supply, I needed 64 for the quest. I have over 500 so far, and this has been running for less than 10 minutes. So I'm going to finish off the quest. If I check out my pizza supply, I have 2. What happened? Shouldn't I have 64? Crafting dough and fresh water. Okay. Am I out of water? No, I have water. I have milk. Let me debug this and find out what's going on. Alright, I think I found the problem. I'm actually pretty much capping out my ME system over here. It doesn't have anywhere to put the items that are the extra items that are being crafted. I have a temporary fix for that, and then a more long-term solution I'm going to get to in a bit. I need to do some serious reorganizing on that AE system. So, I don't know what 2 types are there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hit up my storage, and I should be able to tell it to flat out craft me a storage, well, maybe not if it doesn't have anywhere to put things. Let me sort this out. I know what I can do. I can grab an extra chest from somewhere. Or actually, you know what I can do? I can sort by number of items going the other direction. And I can find just stored items. I can pull out anything that I just have the one of, like these quartz stairs, that fence gate, and that'll free up some types in places and allow things to start crafting again. And it's actually not a bad idea to just go through and anything that I just have the one off, remove, and, I don't know, toss into a chest on a storage bust somewhere. So let me continue getting this sorted a bit. Things are processing now, which is a good thing. I really should have been a little more careful with my applied energistics system all along and made sure that this wasn't going to happen. But I don't know, inventory management. I like to set up a system and then just throw basically money at the system to keep it going, which is exactly what I'm going to do now, as now I can go back to item ID and I can sort by storage, and I can I have 3 64K storage cells that are not doing anything. Well then, not anymore. Now I have plenty of room, and I can go back to safely ignoring my ME system again. For a little while longer, at least. Getting very close on that Certus. Everything ran smoothly overnight. When I logged on this morning, things were happy. I had... Wait. There's another iridium ore, but I don't know if that's the one that I had from my rewards that was in here. It is. Okay, I got all excited for a second. So I had plenty of netherrack in my machine. Like, an extra 180,000 or so. So in the 12 hours or so that it's been, it was able to gather a bunch of netherrack for me, basically without my involvement at all. And remember, I got those are extra bee nether hives that I got from a quest. I haven't shown how to use those yet, and honestly, I don't want to touch bees and trees for a little while. I've done enough with the bees and the trees. Alright, so I was telling you to finish making my supreme pizzas. Why is the other pizza not showing up? One pizza, one supreme pizza. Oh, because I still have it on stored only. Whoops. Let's try that again. Alright, you, make me a stack. Awesome. So, 64 supreme pizzas and 64 delighted meals will finish off the first half of that quest. And let's see what comes next. Soon as I find my quest book. I swear I'm blind. There it is. Okay. 5-star shift. I have to craft those manually? Oh, son of a... I really wish I had known noticed that ahead of time. Okay, so I'm going to be back after I craft all of that stuff by hand. Hey folks, I am over at my potato farm, and because I needed to make more french fries, I've actually flushed all of my extra potatoes and carrots and practically everything from my original farms down into the dirt creation chamber. And I noticed that I ran out of pork chops. I need more pork chops to be able to make the pizzas, to be able to manually craft all of the... That's a shame. Still a little upset about that. Anyway, I'm now feeding carrots into this planter, and I want to tell the planter to do half potatoes and half carrots, and that is now possible. It was always possible. It's just if you right-click, when you log out and log back in, it will probably forget a lot of those settings. Or it's not when you log out and log back in, it's when the world restarts. Anyway, point being that those won't always remember properly if you right-click. However, if you left-click them into the interface, apparently they do remember. So I'm going to try it. I'm going to try to set this thing to half potatoes and half carrots and just see if it works. And because I just want to get this thing producing some carrots as fast as possible, I'm going to tell my system to make me, oh, I don't know, 5,000 fertilizer or so. Because I have the kind of wheat that I need for that. I don't think I have the kind of bone meal I need for that. No, I don't. But I'll help it along some by telling it to make me like 10,000 bone meal. As I am now operating in the thousands and thousands of items and no longer caring about like individuals. So there we go. Fertilizer is pumping into this thing, which is feeding my potatoes. And once they grow and get harvested, I should see some carrots start planting somewhere. I hope. Carrots are planting somewhere. There we go. There's some carrots. Fantastic. So I'm going to get myself a stack of pigs going by... Well, you know what? Whoa. Most of my animals are gone. I don't know why that is. Oh well, I still got a few pigs in there. I want some more, though. So I'm going to get some more pigs into the little pit here. And... hang on. Can I make a pig spawn egg? I think it actually uses... It uses pink wool. I can make plenty of pig spawn eggs. So I'm going to go speed myself along to getting a whole bunch of extra pigs. Because I have a ton of wool. And I have a ton of red dye. So... I want pink wool. To get pink wool, I need pink dye, which is just red dye and bone meal. And to get red dye, I'm going to grind up roses, because a rose in a pulverizer grinds into rose red, 4 at a time, 4 per rose. So that'll go a long way. We'll just get a stack of pink dye into there. And I'm going to get myself... I want multiple stacks of pink wool, don't I? 8 stacks of pink wool. Using up all of the pink dye I just made. And now, using the eggs that I've been getting myself, I'm going to make myself a stack of spawn pig. Because why farm animals manually when I can create them out of nothingness? In fact, it's entirely possible that I'll design an automated system to order myself some pigs and cows using that method. It might not work as well on the cows because to spawn cow, I need to use leather. And you don't get 8 leather per cow. But there are other ways to create leather from rotten flesh. I'm going to have to think about this one. But this could be a pretty cool build. Let me know what you guys think. Do you want to see me create an automated pig and cow spawner and completely replace traditional breeding mechanics? If so, tell me in the comments, and I will work on that some other episode. Because I have some ideas on how to make it work. Alright. And he is now killing off all of the piggies. And I should have pork chops flowing into my system. Which I do. Yay. Fantastic. Hopefully 1 stack of pigs is enough to get me 1 stack of pork chops. But even if it isn't, I didn't need quite the entire stack to get to my pizzas. Awesome. Alright. Let's go make some food. So, I need delighted meals, and I need to craft them manually. Hang on. I have melon smoothies and lots of them. So there's 64 delighted meals and 64 more glass bottles. If I check my quest book, hopefully that counted. The end. 5-star chef. Fantastic. And now, the same thing for supreme pizzas. What I've done is I told my system to craft everything except... Oh, you know what? I'm tossing all of my bell peppers into my dirt supply. I need to make it stop that. So I can get another stack of bell peppers. I thought I was only going to need the 1 stack, so I stopped collecting them and started dumping them straight into the dirt compost barrels. Because they're coming in pretty quick, and you only need 8 of them per dirt. So that seemed like a win for me. I mean, since I've stopped it, I've already gotten half a stack. This might actually be the proper way to create dirt in this pack. I've been struggling with a good automated system, but setting up a couple fields worth of bell pepper or sweet leaf or something like that that will create items that go 8 per dirt, this seems like a better path. Alright, what's the next step? Next step, consume! 64 white mushrooms, 64 rye, 64 barley, 64 bananas, and 64 asparagus. Well, that hurts a little. Let me go get all the seeds together that I need and figure out exactly where the bananas come from. Probably some form of tree. And I'll be back. Alright, I've got a banana tree here. This was a simple situation of putting down a sapling and bone mealing it. And then I'm just going to use a bunch of bone meal on the bananas until I have the stack that I need. Because I don't feel like setting this thing up as automated, and I really don't need to. I have my automated bone meal producer, and it is doing everything that I need it to. So that's a simple process. I also have the rye, asparagus, and barley seeds in my inventory. Let's see how these function. First thing I'm going to do is pull the upgrade out of this so that it does not affect the other side of the farm, just so that I can make sure that I'm doing these correctly. If I use bone meal on these, okay, so I can actually do the same thing. Yeah, I'm not going to be using these crops for anything. Well, maybe I'll set up the mushrooms, because being able to continue to eat supreme pizzas, pizza's one of my favorite food, so why not? And also the bacon mushroom burgers. Pizzas don't actually use mushrooms, do they? Anyway, point being, this is a very quick process to get all of the things that I need. So I'm actually going to grow a little bit more rye here, because why not? Huh, you can just flat out plant the barley and rye. That's kind of neat. You don't actually need to turn it into seeds first. I'm continually impressed with Pam's Harvest Craft. It's a really fun mod. Okay, bone meal. Now, the big question is whether the white mushrooms get picked entirely or if they get harvested. Nope, they get picked entirely. So they just disappear. So I would need to set up a planter for them. But I can do that. I can do that very easily, actually, by putting my white mushroom spore there. Now, spores do get harvested. Awesome. Grab up my carrots. And my netherwort. And as I was informed by a couple of people, actually, one of the easiest ways to limit the planters if you don't have a ton of the seed that you're after is to just fill the rest of the spaces with cobblestone. You may as well. I mean, it's not like you need the cobblestone for anything. And remember, you can turn your mushrooms directly into spores. So there we go. Fantastic. All right, so I'm going to gather up the rest of this and come back when it's time to hand that in and get started on the next quest. And that covers everything. Took less than 5 minutes with all of this bone meal. So, manual submit, and I'm complete. Can claim my reward. One more heart for 108. One more legendary reward bag. Come on. An APRS set. I already had one of these. I'm really not impressed with the legendary reward bag so far. Now, I know they're random. They go between a number of different tiers of potential outcome. It's just a little, I don't know, disappointing to come up with legendary bag and then get kind of junk out of it. Oh well. Such is life. Okay. So that brings me to 57% complete with the end. And, I believe that it looks like I only have 4 the hoarding left with primary quests. I need to complete even more storage, soul sand, and soul sound. Ah, that's adorable. Somehow I never noticed that pun before. So a sound is a type of watery inlet. It's something that happens around an ocean. It's larger than a bay, deeper than a bight, and wider than a fjord. So a narrow sea or an ocean channel between 2 bodies of land. And they tend to be sandy and have beaches because they're, you know, a fairly large oceany area. So yes, I need to create a soul sound with 10,000 soul sand. My dirt is processing on its own, and I could go collect a whole bunch more of that. Oh, speaking of being AFK and collecting a lot of things and doing a ton of letting things process while I was logged in yesterday, I made myself a healing axe at the suggestion of one of the viewers. The great thing about the healing axe, I'm hoping I'll be able to show it off in a moment here if I just keep jumping. The healing axe restores health and hunger if you just hold it in your hand. And it's going to take a while if I do this. Anyway, it's made with 3 of those unstable ingots, which I showed off earlier on, which are, you know, iron and diamond with the division sigil and cause explosions if you're not careful with them. Follow the instructions and be very careful. This explosion will kill you through full bound armor. And it was, you know, a little bit tense to make, but not anywhere near as bad as it could have been. Okay, so this is going to automatically process and get me more and more mushrooms. And do I have any? Of course I don't have any dirt in there. I am turning it all into compressed as fast as I get it. But I have some in here. Awesome. Because I need to close this back over, or that running water will annoy me endlessly. And this is going to end up being a nice little mushroom farm that'll cover the area so that I can always make myself more bacon mushroom burgers if I want to. Because why not? I feel like it, really. That's the only good reason for what I'm doing there. So dirt's processing, and honestly will complete itself if I just give it enough time. Honestly, with that, well, let's see. With this thing running at the speed that it's running, basically the harvester is collecting another bell pepper every 5 ticks. So I'm getting 4 bell peppers per second, which is a block of dirt every 2 seconds. Hang on, I'm going to do some numbers and be right back. So I need another 81 quadruple compressed dirt, which is 65,661 times 81 gets me 531,441 dirt, which, with a dirt every 2 seconds, is 1,062,882 dirt, which is, I mean, 1 million, etc., etc., etc. seconds, which is 17,000 minutes, which is 295 hours, which is about 12 days running this bell pepper farm at full speed. If I wanted to expand it to cover, I don't know, say 5 more plots, I could reduce that time by, you know, that would still take like 3 full days of letting the whole thing run. So I'm still going to need to supplement this with dirt from the nether, unfortunately. Unless I just want to wait a very long time and focus and you know what? That's not a terrible idea. I mean, One, that thing's not costing me a ton. I mean, sure, if I take a look at my Essence network, I've used 5 million LP since I started it running. But I can very easily outpace it just by turning this switch on. Well, once the villagers start spawning. And that whole area is chunk loaded too, so it'll keep itself full overnight. Yeah. If I take a look, I seem to be hitting close to an equilibrium. I can't decide if I'm gaining or losing. Anyway, we'll let that run for a while and figure it out afterward. So I think what I'd like to do, actually, is just expand this and make it run even faster. Add a couple of lamps of growth, add another harvester or two to the thing to be able to keep up with everything, and see if I can just make all of my dirt out of bell peppers. Because doing it manually in the nether, I mean, it's okay, but it's time consuming, and I'd really rather just set it all up and ignore it. So let me get the things together for those arcane lamps after all. Back soon. So folks, it occurred to me after I got the arcane lamps made and was starting to get everything together for the lamp of growth that I'm actually running out of time for this episode. So, next episode, I'm going to upgrade that bell pepper farm even further, and I'm going to make it my main source of dirt. I'm going to set up a whole bunch of lamps of growth, and I'm going to set up a system to keep them fueled and running at all times. It's going to be a lot of fun. So, thank you very much for joining me. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. If you have, please leave a thumbs up and tell me what you liked. If you have not, please leave a thumbs down and tell me what you didn't like. And I will see you next time.